You know, if I had a magic wand, I would have a number of very, very defining wishes. But at the top of that wish list, I would ensure that every parent was an ECD teacher. I would ensure that we actually make ECD a criterion for having children.
And that statement has lived with me, how important it is to shape the attitude at that stage, that this particular person, this particular young individual doesn't know anything but humanity.
In South Africa, who and where you are born is a key determinant of where you will end up in life. Where your children and your children's children are likely to end up. Consistently, there should be a reduction in the gap between what you say you stand for and where you are.
Not only doesn't just take the advantage of context, but the benefit of starting early has immeasurable value. You never catch up because of the power of compound. Why would we think that intelligence and cognitive ability works on any different principle than compounding effect? Learning isn't linear. It isn't a sliver of things. It is a complex and compound development.
Why would this high-flying executive decide his last legacy on planet Earth is going to be early childhood development? But when he took the podium, as Andre did, and explained this whole fair start in life, it made a whole lot of sense to me.
And I think that that is something that we need to step back and say, all these worries that we have were created 20-something years ago because this particular person, who is now a politician, grew up wrongly and is now paying back in some way. Or this particular person that is running, a company or something. What we see is not present. What we see is a product of the past.
The UNICEF declared, of course, since the pandemic, early childhood education, this great foundation we've been speaking about, has become even more damaged. In fact, severely damaged, and South Africa is exactly in that target. Our education ECD systems here have been really, really damaged by the COVID crisis. And as Edward said, crisis, we know, gives opportunity. And crisis in such a very, very poor space allows us to really think rather deeply and come up with very innovative ideology that can push us forwards.
I was raised in a culture where value was given to men first, then women, and then children. As we all know at that time, that children need to be seen but not to be heard. So at that early age, I knew this value level, it's not right. And with all the respect to my family and my elders, I find myself rebelling against what was expected of me as a young girl or a young woman. When I joined Indaba, I was the admin person. But my experience and the way I've been introduced to the work of Montessori is processing my life, interacting with each other. I just cannot imagine. I couldn't imagine at that time that, is this the crash? Children interacting with each other with respect, working with toys. I will call it toys at that time, but we call now learning materials.
But I have to tell you that the onus lies on us. Things are not going to get better unless we make it so. And I am dedicating literally the next years of my life to see that we can get this up and running, that it becomes an industry initiative,
Premier Wendy's when he asked me to attend this session today, and this is music to my ears, because what we plan in this province is to revisit ECD in its entirety. I can attest to Montessori. My only son attended a Montessori school 30 years ago, and he spent 9 years at Montessori, and I saw the benefits of that as a single parent. So there's some incredible synergies that exist, and I do think it would be an opportune time for government to engage with a platform like this so that we can see how we can advance early childhood development in this province to create a blueprint